I'm happy to.
All right. When you lived in Texas and worked with KLBK TV and KAMC TV, were those the first jobs that you had as a meteorologist?
The KAMC was, we called it KMAC, which I never understood. KAMC, KMAC. It had to do with the original owner, but anyway.
Gotcha.
I worked mornings there for 3 years, and then I was evenings chief meteorologist on the CBS station for 4 years. So I was. That's typical first job out of college territory. Weekends or mornings. It was market 145, 146, something like that. Yep. So learned a lot about. I went there because it was severe weather. I had some options in Kansas, and actually one of our sister stations in upstate New York really wanted me. I wanted to go severe weather. I wanted mornings, and that's what KMAC offered. And
that's where you went?
Yeah.
That works.
I was fortunate to have a couple options. Most people aren't that lucky. Not that they were big market, options.
Yeah. I probably would have went to New York, but that's just because small towns just aren't for me.
Well, it was a small town. Like, it wasn't like New York City. It was Utica, New York.
Oh,
so it's not like New York City.
Yeah, if it would have been like in New York, I'd be like, yeah, let's go there.
Yeah. No, you're going to start in a small town. If you're in news, it's going to be a small town. Sometimes a really, really small town. I made, oh God, what was the number? Like 19,000.
Yeah.
Was what my salary was. And it's not like that's back when $19,000 was a lot of money.
Yeah, and that's just starting off, so yeah.
And that's the way, and that's still like that. Those first jobs don't pay well.
Yeah, you've just got to work your way up and figure out how to get by.
Yeah.
At least for your beginning.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I mean, you could be 5 or 6. I know meteorologists that have been doing this 5 to 8 years, and they're fortunate that they're in the 30s. It's not. I'm fortunately a little better than that.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I mean, this was a life choice, so it's something that makes you happy.
It is a life choice. That is absolutely right.
If it's something that makes you happy, then you should be okay with what comes out of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
All right, you've received 3 Emmy Awards. Mm-hmm. Are they all for the same broadcast?
All for weather, yeah. They happened in different years.
Different years.
I've been nominated.
I think it said you were nominated 4 times.
4 times? Okay, yeah. I couldn't remember if it was 3 or 4 times. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and so fortunately, I've been very blessed to.
You've won 3 Emmys.
Yeah, which is
casually talking about Emmys.
But here's the thing about winning any award is you instantly think I've got to do better now, or maybe that's just me, but I feel like most people. You don't get into TV, which is something where you're on TV without having a little bit of an ego.
Yeah.
Because any one of us could get paid more money to do this job someplace else. And being insecure, as crazy as that sounds. And so immediately after I won mine, I remember thinking, I've got to do better now. I got to, I mean, not immediately, but within 2 or 3 weeks, it's like I got to do it again. And so. Every year.
I mean, I think the way that with that, you wouldn't have won an Emmy Award if you weren't already working as hard and as good as you could have been already.
It's true.
So, I mean, obviously you deserved a little bit. Like,
yes.
you knew what you were doing.
Yes, yes. And so much of that, whether it's a Pulitzer or an Emmy or a Murrow, there are 2 things come in. It's how good you are, that's half of it, but it's the situation that gives you the opportunity to show that.
Yeah. And how you handle it.
Well, yeah, exactly. If without big bad weather, it would be a lot harder for me to get an Emmy. So if I were in Atlanta instead of as chief meteorologist here in Atlanta, I might be mornings, I might be weekends. I'm probably not the one covering tornadoes at that point on the air. And so without that coverage as part of what we submit, I'm probably not winning an Emmy.
Yeah.
No matter if I'm getting better every single year.
Yeah.
So it's so much, sometimes a story just falls in your lap, and then it's up to you to not mess it up.
Understand that completely.
Especially on the journalism side. There's not a whole lot of opportunities in this size market to win an Emmy because there's not a lot of not as many stories that
haven't already been covered You talked about earlier how you used to be afraid of tornadoes whenever you were a kid. Do you have any fears weather-wise now?
Lightning. I don't like lightning because, you get in. I got into meteorology because I wanted to know more about tornadoes and be able know where they're at, I feel very confident that I can know where tornadoes are going to be, and they're not just going to sneak up and get me.
Lightning is.
But lightning, any thunderstorm has it. I mean, it's thunderstorm. You don't get the thunder without lightning, and so it's just so random, and
Unpredictable.
it's just as deadly. Except it's most years more people die from lightning
Really? Huh.
because they don't take it seriously. You know what the number one weather killer in the United States is?
What?
Flooding. You know what the number one weather killer worldwide is? Heat.
I can see that though.
Yeah, I mean, and it's one of the highest. I gotta remember. I can't remember for sure if it's the number one in the United States too, because you think of places in the Midwest that don't have air conditioning. You get old, your body doesn't take it anymore, you die.
Damn. Huh.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi. Your food is back.
Okay, we're almost done.
Okay.
No, you're
Sorry.
fine. Is that your wife?
Yeah.
Oh, she's pretty.
Thank you. Way prettier than I deserve.
This next question's about your wife.
Okay.
What all does your wife do here?
So she's our 5 and 9 o'clock anchor. When you work in news, you do everything. She reports, she posts to the web, she edits stories, she edits video. You do everything when you work in news. It's a much more difficult grind than being a meteorologist.
So with her, does she do, like you said, she does her own editing? Y'all don't, would it be like, y'all wouldn't have certain people that specifically do editing, just everybody does everything?
Yeah, everybody does everything.
Everybody?
You have the editing software on your computer, and you edit just right there in front. And that's something that's changed a lot since I got started. Because you used to have editing booths, and you go in there and you'd have an editor that tape to tape would edit all the stuff together, and then you tape like 1, 2, 3 over and over again. But yeah, so everybody does everything.
I like that.
Or at least they're supposed to.
They're supposed to. I feel that. Because, yeah, working for the Ranger Rocket, I love editing my own stuff because it's the way that I want it to be.
Exactly. And your vision's going to be...
Yes.
And there are a lot of big markets where you still do have a photojournalist that will shoot it. You'll do the interviewing. Photojournalist will edit it. And they're very good. They have decades of experience, and they're probably better than you at editing. But you could be better if you got that if you had the chance to develop.
Yep. How do you connect with the audience outside of social media? Like, do you put any personality into your weather forecasting, or just something like that?
I try to put as much as much of me as possible. Like, if you run into me on the street, my goal is that I will tell the forecast the exact same way that I tell it on the air. And so it takes a long time to get to that point, though. I would say every day I'm a little more me on TV. And I'm now 12 or 17, 13 years into doing this. Or getting paid to do this, plus 3 years of interning. So it's, by the way, that happens fast. So grab it and hang on. It happens really fast.
I'm a junior now, so I'm just kind of like, everything's just all at once.
I remember looking at people saying, God, if I had 12 years experience, I'd be... I remember being on the website TV Jobs, which is one of the websites that you look for TV jobs on.
Yeah.
And saying, God, 12 years experience, you can get a job anywhere, which you probably can by that point, but it seemed like forever, and it's not.
Yeah. Do you use Snapchat as a social media source?
To spread the forecast? No.
No, not in this.
I do have a Snapchat. I would say I find that when I'm not doing social media for work, I am not on social media, and that has been kind of a life choice. It may or may not be the right career choice, but it's probably not the right career choice, but it is the right life choice for me. I find that too many people, myself included, we spend too much time looking at that phone and not staring at the person sitting across the table from us. And so I've tried to back away as much as possible because it's an addiction, fear of missing out. But I will do the different I want to say masks, but the different filters on Snapchat with my daughter. Like, well, we have fun with them. I just don't send them to anyone, and B, don't put the weather out there.
Yeah, I can understand that. But Facebook and Instagram and Twitter are something you definitely use for.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Because they all kind of apply.
They really do. Because
they're video formats, they're instantaneous information. Like that all is important. Snapchat stories can be used that way.
They can also be taken and edited because of the fact they're such short clips. It's just-
Exactly.
yeah.
And they're